with old scrap wood, some molds, and paint. I think I need to keep this one.
$1 in the jar.
I'm supposed to start putting $1 in the jar for everything I say I'm going to keep, and I'm going to go to Hawaii someday. So put your layer of paint down, and then I have pre-poured these molds with fast cast resin that only takes 10 minutes to set up, and it doesn't stink like the 24-hour one, and who has time for 24 hours anyways? There's links in the description box to all the stuff I use on here. So just get it where you want it. If you would happen to hot glue it down and it's not where you want it, just pop it off and put it down again. If you're particular, I would paint your castings or molds before, even if you use air dry clay. The air dry clay doesn't hang over the top and down because it doesn't have the structure unless you let it dry. And then, yeah, it's just a whole nother ballgame there. But pre-paint them. I like it shadowy. I like it not perfect. I like to blend my color, so I just do them after. But I've noticed my workshop students, almost every one of them will take forever because they want it perfect and they don't want it touching the other color. You know, they don't want their food to touch. So just a heads up if you're like that. I used my Joy Cricut cutter and I pre-make a lot of these. Do you guys know about that saying? Just today, I seen some preachers going into a coffee shop and I was like, hey, you going to get some Pentecostal whiskey? And they stopped and looked at me and I could tell they never heard that before. And then it was really uncomfortable and I was embarrassed. And then I said, you've never heard that? And they were like, no. And then they finally laughed a little bit. And I was like, okay. It was just me. It was one of the things we said. We can't drink whiskey, but we can sure drink some coffee. So it's our whiskey. Okay. So anyways, with these one-time use stencils, you have a carrier sheet, then the stencils in the middle, and then you have the top tape, transfer tape. And so there's a whole bunch of steps to that. I'm not going to go in depth on here, but it is so fun. Okay, see where I got that paint on there? I just took a Lysol wipe and wiped that off later. These are from Harbor Freight. They look like dental tools, but the Cricut machine has those too, and it's so satisfying pulling those off. It is just like the cherry on top when you get to this part. So many ways you can get your words on here. You can buy a regular stencil. You can copy a saying off of your internet and copier machine and cut it out and let the paper be on there, you know, make it a raw edge. You can buy a word that says welcome at Dollar Tree. You can write something with Scrabble words and just use these molds around it to make it look really fancy. This is just a drawer that was broken and I used the sides of it, and it is really a good project. When you pull the stencil off, and you'll see I am touching it up with a little artist brush here. If you've missed a little bit, just go and touch it up. And if it looks real bad, like if you did a bad job stenciling and the paint all went under the stencil, just take a fine sanding block and kind of sand it and distress it, and it just totally makes it forgiving. I promise I used to be a perfectionist painter. I would have been like my students in the workshop that takes forever to get everything just right. But I love to blend with DIY paint. It has made me artsy-fartsy, and you can just blur and blend and layer and create new colors. So I just take some green and push it up around the edges of it, and I spray water and I blend the two colors. And the DIY paint does need to be sealed with either wax or a water-based or Big Top or liquid patina. Our wax makes a buttery matte finish. The Big Top is a semi-matte finish, and the patina is a satiny finish. So they're all a little bit different. They all work great. I love our liquid patina to Mod Podge as a decoupage medium, so you might want to try that. All right, I love this golden roll. Alrighty, I have put a new video out for lifestyle. It could be food, recipes, fashion. It could be all sorts of stuff on Wednesday. And then on Fridays is my craft and DIY. Would love to have you follow me, like and subscribe, and let me know if you need anything.